Absolutely. I actually was attending Harvard Business School, and my girlfriend at the time said, "What do you want to do with yourself?" And I said, I'd really like to start a company. And between my first and second year, actually, my old boss from Wang Laboratories told me, he said, "Gene, I'm going to start a company." And so actually, I dropped out of Harvard Business School to start my first company at a very young age, and I became vice president of marketing for Gold Hill Computers. So that's how I got started. I started Bitfone about 6 years ago, and we are in the business of over-the-air device management for mobile phones. So mobile phones are turning into little computers that you hold in your hand and bring around everywhere you go. So this is my new Hewlett-Packard iPac mobile phone. It has the Windows Mobile operating system in it. And not only can I make phone calls, but I can also do my email and run applications and so on and so forth. But the problem is these things are hard to set up and they're hard to manage. So what Bitfone does is we do over-the-air device management, so you can diagnose problems, you can update software, and you can enhance the mobile phone all over the air. We are focused on finding, fixing, enhancing mobile phones over the air. So it costs a lot of money, usually, to take a mobile phone, bring it back into the shop, plug a cable into it, and re-flash its firmware. It maybe costs between $80 to $105 every time you do that. But with over-the-air technology, you can just update it in the hands of the consumer. So that's what we do. Now, an analogy is, imagine if every time, I'm sure all of you have PCs, so imagine if you had to actually mail your PC back to Microsoft every time you wanted to update it. That'd be very inconvenient and very expensive. Well, what they have implemented is Windows Update, so you can just update your PC over the internet. And that's the same kind of thing that we do for mobile phones, but over the air instead. Well, we were the first to pioneer this new technology and really new approach to doing mobile phone device management. We have 8 patents granted and about 150 patents pending. So that definitely protects our intellectual property. But also we work with almost every major mobile phone manufacturer, such as we are shipping in the Motorola Razr, and we ship in the Samsung, LG, Sony Ericsson, and so on. We also are working with some of the very largest mobile phone operators. In fact, the largest is China Mobile. So we have a big advantage in that we were early and we serve some of the largest companies in the space. And then finally, we were just acquired by Hewlett-Packard, which is a fantastic outcome for all of us. And HP is, of course, one of the largest technology companies in the world. They serve more enterprises in the world with systems management. So HP today is the #1 provider for tools that manage your PCs, your servers, your notebooks. And now, with the addition of Bitfone, HP will also be able to manage mobile phones. Well, just last month, HP completed their acquisition of Bitfone, so that's February of '07. We started talking to HP in July of '06, and as we approached HP, we were thinking that they were a customer. And just to make a long story short, they liked us so much they bought the company. So we we had just closed a round of venture capital with probably the world's most famous venture capitalist, Vinod Khosla. And Vinod actually was at Kleiner Perkins for many years. He funded some great companies. He was the founding CEO of Sun, and he invested in, I think, 7 companies that returned more than $1 billion on his investment. So we were very pleased to have Vinod come in and lead our Series D round in July. And at the same time, we started talking with HP. And, you know, initially we were very interested. The HP people really got what it is that we were doing. Their new executive vice president of the personal systems group was a former CEO of Palm and brought Palm into the whole mobile space and really understood our value proposition, really appreciated our people. So they started by asking us, would we consider an acquisition? And after deliberating with my board of directors, we said yes, we would. And then we had a number of negotiations and ended up with a very happy ending. We're very excited to become part of HP. Absolutely. I think in the early days of a company's life cycle, you really need to build a team that is visionary, that can take pretty unformed ideas and turn them into product reality. So early in a company's life cycle, usually you're still evolving the product concept, getting your prototypes done, bringing up your initial release, and great engineering is required for the kind of technology companies that I've always been involved with, at least. You sometimes need to find people who can forego the practical things like salaries and who can work enormous number of hours and who are really able to dedicate themselves in terms of driving an early young company to its first set of milestones. Later in a company's evolution, the things that start becoming of paramount importance are things like sales and finance. So it really ends up being a situation where you need to hit your quarterly sales targets, drive the company to profitability and beyond, and manage your cash. Cash is really the lifeblood of a startup, and knowing where your pennies go and making sure that you're making proper allocation decisions it becomes key. And so as you evolve from the early days to a later stage company, you need to really also evolve from product conceptualizing and visualization to operational excellence and execution. I didn't. I was very lucky. Actually, at Bitfone, we've gone through 4 rounds of venture capital and then now the successful sale to HP. Every round was oversubscribed. Every round was an up round. And been very lucky at Bitfone to have focused in the right way on raising the money. My previous company wasn't so lucky, and we really ran very low on money. And I saw what a challenge it was to be kind of running on life support as opposed to running with a full coffer of cash. So at Bitfone, I decided that is a mistake that I don't want to make again. And we've been blessed with investors who have stepped up, and then also with HP who paid a very fair price for our company. Yes, so I'm a 3-time CEO, but I'll tell you, the CEO position is really overrated. So I'm very happy to be joining HP as a vice president within the personal systems group at HP, and this is the #1 computer company in the world now, and they have made a strategic bet on growth in mobility. So I'm joining to help the mobility group at HP become successful and build the best enterprise mobile phones and back-end services to make the overall experience for enterprises, both large and small, really, really great through ease of use, ease of configuration, ease of setup, and reliability with mission-critical applications such as mobile email, and then also security, because if you lose your mobile phone, used to be a big inconvenience when it was a voice-only device. But if it has all of your email on it, all of your contacts on it, then it becomes a disaster. So with the Bitfone technology, HP will be able to do things like lock and wipe the phone and protect and secure its corporate data. Well, no, it's all challenging. I have an affinity to marketing. As I mentioned at the beginning, at a very young age, I became VP of marketing with all of 3 weeks of experience for my first company. But it's not that it's easy. It's just that I think I may have some affinity to the field. And product marketing really is all about kind of integrating the needs of the market and what your engineering team can actually deliver, and hopefully finding that good intersection that allows you to build great value. So that really is a key ingredient to success in a company. I think that ego management is probably the most challenging thing for me and for probably many managers. A lot of people, really have different styles, and being able to coax the best out of your team, to be able to, recruit and retain high achievers, even if they are sometimes prima donnas. Being able to coax the best out of engineers, even if they are a little bit challenging to manage, to be able to close those huge sales, even if there are large egos involved with that transaction. I think that can be pretty challenging for anybody. It is very important. Time management is really key to success. There's so many things that you could be doing with your time. Picking the ones that you should be focused on is very important. What I do is probably what many people do. I write a to-do list, and I try to focus on my to-do list every day. I also develop my top 5 or 6 priorities over the next month or 60 days, and really work hard to achieve most of my, if not all, of my priorities in getting those done. And then the other thing is I just work hard. So I get up early and start work, and when I'm not with my family, I am frequently working. So there's no magic bullet, but I think good prioritization of your time is very important in order to make things happen. Well, I don't know that we do provide excellent customer service. I know that we work very hard to be customer focused, to be customer oriented, to treat our customers really well. to prioritize, to understand their needs and prioritize those. In terms of our product development roadmap, I think we're pretty good at making sure our customer requirements are way up there on top. And we do have 24/7 support. We do assign support out, and we do measure the support that we give to our customers. It is, I think, is an area that every company needs to continue to be very focused on and try to do the best job possible. Yeah, that's a great question. We are, as you are, we're a very multicultural company. Actually, Bitfone, prior to its acquisition by HP, we were about 150 people. 80 of us are in Beijing. So we also have a team in Korea, in Seoul. We have a team in Canada. We have a team in the UK, and other people really scattered around the world. But it is very much a multinational enterprise, and we tend to do the design and architecture and customer-facing activities in our headquarters in California, and we do a lot of the engineering and quality assurance in our office in Beijing. So there have been quite a few cultural issues that we face, and we actually spend quite a bit of time in working hard to be one organization on the same page, even though we are in very different time zones. I personally travel all the time, so I'm every month or two in Beijing and Seoul. I think at HP this will probably accelerate because HP has even more offices in those countries and more locations as well that I'll be really getting involved with. Another thing that we have is we have a robot. So the smart guy in my family is actually my little brother. He's actually a PhD in robotics, and he has built a great company called InTouch, which makes these robots, these 5-foot tall robots, where you can, from your laptop, you can kind of drive them around. And then, so for example, from my office or my home in California, I can drive around a robot in Beijing, and the people in Beijing actually see my face on the screen on the top of the robot, and I can see everything that they're looking at. So this thing is called telepresence. You can teleport yourself instantly into a different location, and avoid that 16 or 17-hour journey across the oceans to be there in person, and that helps a lot too. And then finally, I think one of the most important things is really laying out a clear process with clear roles and responsibilities, with clear interfaces, with clear rules of conduct, and just working those issues so that you can really communicate what it is that people are doing, what the handoffs are, and how you can work together to be successful. Because after all, even if we're all from different countries, we're all on the same team, and that's what's important. Yes, HP is a much larger company, and we had 150 people. I think they have 150,000 people. So we are still coming up the learning curve, meeting new people, finding out new teams. There's a lot more meetings. There's a lot more email. I think my email has tripled, and my meetings have probably more than tripled. I will say that HP has been fantastic in terms of their people are very welcoming, and by and large, very excited about having us join them. And also the group that we're going into, was a small group within a big company. So the Handheld Business Unit was about 150 people. We were about 150 people, so we're kind of together doubling the size. And then HP is really growing this whole area together. So it's a very exciting time for us, and there are new things to learn. But if you're not learning new things, you're probably not doing the right thing anyway. So first of all, not being an MBA myself, I will say that I think that is a great thing to have the capability to understand things like profit and loss, things like velocity, things like metrics that you're actually measuring against. Marketing, of course, is critical. I think financial skills are always important. And having some management tools underlying what you are trying to do, I think is a very good foundation. I will say that you probably will learn a lot as you soak into the different companies that you'll be going into. And so it's important to take the tools that you have and figure out how to apply them correctly. But I think an MBA is a very good foundation to do that. Well, it is really a mixture. Of course, I'm in the mobile phone business, so mobile phone. I think that's a very frequent approach. Email is used all the time, and I think that allows people to really stay in communication well, even across time zones. So 17-hour time difference between California and Beijing. So, email helps a lot for that. Instant messaging, I was talking to you about our robot. I think that's a good approach. We have a series of regular meetings that we use, weekly status meetings. We were getting together once a quarter. I don't know how that will continue within the HP context. But setting up a regular cadence for different types of communication, I think, is important. So I wouldn't say there's one way that I'm communicating, but between in-person, phone, PC communications, and robotic communications, I think those are the mix that I use to manage. Well, I don't know how to golf, so what I like to do is surf. And once I took one of our biggest and one of my favorite customers out surfing. I had never surfed before, and the waves were a little big. So what I ended up having to do, he couldn't actually paddle out past the break, which, for those of you who have surfed before, it can be a little challenging. So what I ended up doing was I ended up taking off the leash off of my ankle and throwing it to my buddy and towing him past the break, which was a little strange, but on the other hand, he did get out and have a good time, and we were able to get some surfing in. So that was one of the. It was fun, and we all had a good time. Recently, I had this amazing experience. On the first day that Bitfone was acquired, HP put on this unbelievable leadership summit at the Four Seasons in Hollywood. And it was such a great way to be welcomed into this amazing technology leader. And Mark Hurd is the CEO of HP. We had dinner one night at the Reagan Library, and Mark Hurd was the speaker, and I was actually sitting in the at this table, basically right underneath the podium. And the Reagan Library, I don't know if you've ever been there, but it has Air Force One. So when you get to the Reagan Library, you walk through Air Force One, and which is amazing. And you see Reagan and Thatcher, Reagan and Gorbachev, Reagan and Nancy Reagan. You walk through that, you go down the stairs, and we were having the dinner right under the nose of Air Force One. I'm introduced to Mark Hurd, and very cordial, amazing businessman, and has really turned around HP and made it the #1 PC company in the world. So we had a very nice short chat. Then he got up onto the podium and spoke, and he gave this very charismatic speech about becoming #1 and how once you've tasted that #1 position, you never want to go back. So he's standing there just a few feet in front of me, and behind him was reflected Air Force One, and on the nose of Air Force One there was the HP logo projected onto the nose, which was somehow reflecting like a halo over his head. I thought it was like a religious experience. It was really amazing. So right now I'd have to say Mark Hurd, although I've had many mentors in my career. Gordon Eubanks, the CEO of Symantec, taught me a lot. Philippe Kahn, the CEO of Borland, taught me a lot. I helped. I ran the languages business unit. We popularized this whole notion called object-oriented programming, and sold over 1 million copies of C++ together. So I've had some very good teachers in my career. Right now I'm reading a book called Know-How by Ram Charan. That's good. One of my favorite professors is actually Professor Robert Bergelman from Stanford Business School, and he wrote, one of his books is called Strategy is Destiny. He actually has taught me a lot about strategy and the strategy diamond and the minimum winning game. I think he's an excellent teacher as well. I've overcome lots of challenges. Seems like every day there are new challenges. I would say my last company, Photo Access, we really had a challenge when we ran out of money. So one of the errors that I made was trying to build Intel, Microsoft, and Amazon in one small underfunded startup. So kind of the scope of our vision was too large to execute on the $22 million of venture capital we had raised. But we did build the world's fastest photo chip, and we did build a great kind of a Snapfish or OPhoto-like digital imaging service. And what we did is we sold the company. So we came very close to running out of money, but before we ran out of money, we had a successful sale of the hardware business to Agilent, and then later the web services business to a company called PhotoWorks in Seattle. So that was one of the tougher transitions that I've managed through, and I'm very happy to have gotten out with a gain for all of our shareholders. Probably it is the fact that my daughter made it into the Cornell Hotel School of Management, and she's a very focused young lady. She decided she wanted to go, for some reason, to the Cornell Hotel School, and she knuckled down. She was very clear on her objectives. She graduated valedictorian, and she put in 1.5 years at the Marriott in Laguna Niguel, and she was accepted, and now she's a very happy student there. So, of course, you know, I'm proud of our business achievements. I was very happy to take Computer Motion public. That was a major accomplishment. You know, when I got to Computer Motion, I think we only had 2 weeks of cash, and you know, we really focused the company and took it public, and it was wonderful. And I'm very proud of what we've done at Bitfone too. But probably getting the fact that Gina made it into Cornell is a high point for me. Right now, I want to set a new high watermark for enterprise mobility and really bring to fruition products and services that make it easy for enterprises everywhere to be productive with their mobile phones, make sure that they're set up, configured over the air, that they run, that they can be enhanced, that can be updated, that they can be managed over the air, and that the devices themselves are brilliant. And there's a lot of innovation left there to do, and I'm very, very pleased to be part of that, and I'm very committed to bringing to the world something that is better than what exists today. Then, on a personal note, I will say that my priority is to be a great husband and a great father. So I think it's very important to balance your work life and your personal life. And, you know, it's a struggle to do that with, you know, all of the conflicting goals and objectives and the time management that you have to do. But it's very important to be able to find that balance and to dedicate enough time to your family while driving great success in your career. Yes, I would focus on getting things done faster. So I think that in companies both small and large, speed is everything. There comes a time where you pretty much know what you should be doing, but then actually making it happen sometimes takes a little too long. One example is kind of building up our company in China. We really have done a pretty good job in that, but we probably could have moved a year earlier on that. Instead, we started outsourcing and then moved to having employees in China. So I would say that it may not be just one decision or another decision, but just focusing on speed and prioritizing a smaller number of initiatives to do a really, really good job with. I think international opportunities are where a lot of the action is, and I think that that's a great thing for people getting this MBA. I think that multicultural issues are a good thing to master and have under your belts. And I think that one piece of advice is to really find some mentors and try to keep a relationship going with them. You know, that's one of the things that I've learned, that you know, every place that I've been, I've learned some things and added some new tools to my arsenal, and kind of keeping those relationships intact is a good thing, and especially early in your career.